G'day. Still not in the full superhero gear. Sorry if that's a horrible disappointment. And sorry for the case of streamus interruptus before. There's been some pretty bleak weather today. So I am... Where am I? Well, there's a bunch of little beach towns on the way to Byron Bay, and I've gone through a few of them. I actually want to be a bit careful to not say exactly where I am, because I see there's these coastal ranges and whatnot around, and mate, if you are one, don't use this to track me down and find me or anything if you know I'm sleeping in the bush. I'll leave it pristine, exactly as I found it. I know that there's laws and stuff. Well, I'm sleeping rough, so it's a bit iffy. The legislation, about homelessness, well, they don't want to nationally legislate about homelessness, so there's a lot of sort of carefully crafted words, and different shires and whatnot have their own sort of rules. National parks have their own sort of rules, and I want to respect all those rules, but at the same time, I've more respect for people than rules, if that makes sense. So, some people confuse me with, they think that I'm Batman. In the Today Show, they described me as a crime fighter. I'm not a bloody crime fighter. But if I saw somebody hurt it, well, it happened at the Gold Coast. I saw some guys bashing a kid on the ground, and I screamed at him. Not screamed, it was like, I swore, get off him. You don't hit someone when they're on the ground, you pieces of... And I think they heard in that the voice of their angry grandfather, and they scattered, And I guess that's lucky, because if they wanted to, they could have turned around and flogged me. But, you stand up against what's wrong, not what's illegal, I guess. And you don't have to. You're not ethically on the hook to. Sometimes it's not smart to. But yeah, I'm not a crime fighter or anything like that. All I want to do is heal myself. And I've discovered that there's possibility that in seeing me heal myself, other people can do the same thing. So I want to share that. And then, of course, I want to help the charity, the Kids Cancer Project. So, Captain Australia, some people see him wandering through the street and think he's fighting crime. Well, I'm not. And some crimes I see as, trivial's not the right word, but, they're not. It's not like they're a profound wrong. I understand why there are rules about sleeping rough, because people can be gross. So, as I've gone walking, you see it all over the place, like these scattered McDonald's stuff, and people just heedlessly throwing garbage out of the windows of their car. I could never do that. I'm just not wired that way, Even when I'm drunk, I'm kind of, I guess, I don't know, ethical, whatever the word for it is. So I'm walking down the road, country road. So yeah, the sleeping rough thing, I don't want to give exact hints of exactly where I am towards the end of a day, because, just in case the authorities are watching. And, I guess good on you, you got a job to do, so go do it. And if you spot me doing something wrong and you have to do what you have to do, fair enough. But yeah, so Captain Australia's Big Walk, sleeping rough's part of it. Why is that part of it? Respect is diminishing. I don't know. Here's the thing. Let me tell you something about that. A direct experience from today while I've been walking. Yeah. So I meet people. I'm making bad time because physically I'm making stupid mistakes, but I'm also meeting people, and I love it. It's great. And I met this lady who she came up to see her sister at Kingscliff. And her sister's husband had just died last night, randomly, apropos of nothing, no previous physical problems or whatever. And they were just walking around shocked. So we had a long talk about all kinds of things. But these individuals that I talk to, even the homeless, even the criminal, are uniformly great. There's a few exceptions here and there, but for the most part, these individuals, I would put a number on it at 95%, are wonderful. They have in them a good core, and that That encourages and delights me. Now, what happens though? So I meet one lady. She's sort of, I don't know, old school hippie is how I'd describe her. So I'll give you a look where I'm walking. So that's what the landscape looks like. Sorry, yeah. So she's old school hippie, and she talked about her ethics and her values, and they were all more or less fine. And the key points were, she was concerned about controls, concerned about being forced to vaccinate and all that, and that's an inflammatory topic. And please we don't have to have a dialogue on it, because it's been done to dust everywhere else anyway. That we won't find an answer. What I want to highlight is that process of trying to find an answer is not what everyone's doing. There's no consensus building here, because this lady was uniformly wonderful in her underlying humanity, and she has a position, and she's unable to navigate to any other position because there's no healthy dialogue that provides it to her. I meet someone on the other side of the fence. She didn't want to shake. I went to shake her hand. Lovely lady. They made a donation, and I was like, "Oh, that's so great. Good on you." Shake hands, and she said, "Oh, do you mind if I don't?" And we had to talk about COVID, and I'm like, because I've come through from Queensland, and things are just a little different in the vibe there. New South Wales feels a bit. So I'm a bit wobbly in catching up just to the vibe, and there's like a weird sort of polarized thing too. Like the dude who was with us said, it's 50-50, mate. I'd love to shake your hand. So I shook his hand, but she didn't want to, and that's cool. I didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but we spoke about her concerns that people were resisting vaccination and blah blah blah, and she had all these concerns, and they were reasonably articulated. It's not like she's a stupid person or cruel, and her underlying intention was good. And when she spoke to me, she articulated her concerns in a way that was nice, because it's like I'm not participating in the way that we have dialogue now is combative. So she's just telling me how she thinks and feels, because I haven't offered my own viewpoints, and I was just listening. And so these two different people talking to me, although they have competing opinions and things to say, when talking to me, it's fine. But if you put them in a room together, I'm moderately confident there's going to be a pretty horrible argument. And I think that's a sign of where we're at socially at the moment. Like, we're not interested so much in building consensus anymore. And as I'm walking around, I'm seeing these weird little, because I've been in a cancer cave for 5 years, so this is me coming alive. But in doing that, I'm a bit out of step, I'm like trying to join in a dance that everybody else has been doing for a few years, and I've just been like numbly, blankly watching as an observer, like part zombie. So, it's really weird the way that it's almost like we don't want to solve our problems, or we only want to solve them by having our team win. Does that sound stupid? I don't know. I can't solve the world's problems. For me, the fact that the people underneath the issue were great. They were just lovely people. They had good intentions. And for me, they say the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions, right? I disagree. I think intention is just about everything. What matters is not the outcome matters too, but your underlying motivation is so important. If it's pure and your intention is pure and you talk true, you've got a better chance of navigating to a positive outcome, I reckon, anyway. But yeah, so in their core, the humanity's there and they're sweet, but put them together and they could start punching. Like if they were dudes, they'd punch each other. You know what I mean? If they were dudes, they'd end up punching each other. And I find that both hopeful and distressing. You know what I mean? And I guess I'm having another old man ramble because I don't have like an outcome. I don't have a particular solution, except that if we remember that underlying humanity, you can kind of get. I like to think that if I said something that bothered or offended somebody, we could get to like respectful disagreement. You know what I mean? And if we can try to like do that with everybody in our lives, as just as an act of kindness, even you can see it almost as like giving them money. Um, Look, I hear you. I understand. I honestly disagree with you, but I totally, I understand why you feel that way. Here's why I feel my way. But let's just agree to disagree, and I'll think about you, you think about me, off we go. The world that may take us no further to an outcome, a practical outcome, than fighting about it. But at least we're not bloody constantly fighting about it. So yeah, I don't know. I've had a weird day when I've spoken to different people, bounced around the place. In terms of my walking, I think I've covered a decent amount of ground today. So I'm walking now. My pace is okay. I've got a bit of the old swamp butt. So we've got a comment. Let's see. Yes, everyone believes their opinions. Sorry, my screen's all cracked. Are true, and they are to that. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess so. And here's the thing. I'm I am so often wrong. And a mistake, an error, being wrong is fine because it's carving your way to learning. You know? Generationally, we repeat our mistakes. Yeah, and we tend to. Oh, my life could have gone down a dark path if I didn't leave home when I was 15 years old. That took me down. That was a moment that took me down a new path, a more hopeful path. Yeah, but you know, I could have got caught in this cycle of. It's not quite poverty induced, although we didn't. I don't think we had a lot of money when I was a child, but it's hopelessness induced kind of substance induced criminality, lack of ethics. Anyway, I could have gone down a different path for sure, but thankfully I didn't. But that's a risk that the mistakes can be repeated to a generation. So my grandfather beat my grandmother. He was messed up from his experiences in the war. Maybe his parents. Something got passed to my mother. She fell into addiction. Um, and then you can take that forward and forward and forward, or you can arrest it. And a mistake is only a mistake if you continue doing it. If you don't, it's a lesson. It's a learning. It's something that you can use as a tool to refine yourself as a human being, to find your feet in the world in a more meaningful and substantial way. And I don't, I'm not saying, oh, look at me, I know who I am and what I'm doing. I'm on a journey of discovery now, almost like a child, rediscovering some basics. I've like torn it all up, and I've just taken some fundamentals of who I am. Like, I adore my children, and I will walk through fire for them. I love my wife, and without her, I'm less of a person. I believe that we should all strive to be honest where we can, although people are innately not honest. And honesty as a value is a tricky one because being dishonest is completely okay if it's kind. Like, no, Sally, you're not putting on weight. Or Barry, that's an excellent drawing. Excellent. I don't think that's bad, But for me, I love the idea of truth. And I think that's valuable at a social level as well. Oh crap, I'm doing it again. Old man rambling. Sorry. Jeez. Oh, Jesus. What was I saying? I was saying where I am, where I've been walking to. I'm sorry. I don't know what. In my defense, it's like day 5. So I'm acclimating. I was telling you I have a bit of swamp butt. That's like, I bought, under, actually there's a funny story there. So if you didn't know it, so I got asked to talk on the Today Show. I had an opportunity to be interviewed. Lovely opportunity, and I was so grateful for it. Because oh, thank you. It's even tolerable ramblings, okay. But yeah, I was so grateful for the opportunity to uh, speak because it is absolutely essential to the betterment of the outcome for the charity. Not so much my personal stuff, although it does, all the kindness that comes flooding back in is wonderful for me, but in terms of the charity, awareness is key. So I did. And in arranging that, I was corresponding with their producer. Lovely young lady, her name's Mika. We were just sort of back and forthing, figuring out where I had to be, when I had to be. So she was in my phone. Now, I think we've demonstrated at this point, I am an old fool. So as I was doing my last minute sort of pack checking and throwing in all of the things that I didn't need, like a wrench and all this other stuff, I noticed, I don't think I have enough underpants. So I texted my wife, can you please send me, can you please get me, because she was out at our local shopping centre in Indooroopilly, can you please get me 3 underpants, maybe also 2 pair of socks, thanks so much. And it was something like that. I actually posted it. It's shared on Facebook somewhere. The problem is it wasn't to my wife. It was to Mika, the producer at the Today Show. So, yes, my wife never got it, so I never got the underpants that I needed. So 5 days, and I've been working on 3 pair, and I haven't done any laundry. So you figure out the math of it. So I bought a sewing kit to repair the flag at Tweedhead South. And in addition to that, I bought a shirt just to sleep in so I can wash the other gear. And they're kind of like underpants that I could also almost pass as shorts. Now, here's the thing. Although I've lost a dramatic amount of weight, so in a shirt, in December, if I went to buy a shirt, it would have been like a 4XL, something like that, like big man sizes. Maybe they were getting a bit snug too, 6XL. So we're talking clinically morbidly obese. So now I fit into a medium, although, there's a bit of a tummy pouch going on. But I'm mindful my body's changing as I walk. And I guess I just overestimated that change. So I bought a pair of underpants that I thought would fit just fine, but they're quite tight. So, I've got a bit of chafing going on, which is the stupidest thing when you're going on a long walk. But it's tolerable, and I'll fix it up later. And now, I'm just pushing towards Byron Bay. I figure I'll, I don't know, maybe New Year's in Byron Bay. It's New Year's Eve tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, geez. Now I'm sad I'm not going to be with my wife and kids at New Year's Eve. I mean, they knew that. We all knew that. But, yeah. Oh. Anyway, I'm having a lovely time and I'm learning heaps. I'm sorry for the rambling. Let me do a quick pause. And you are very insightful. Oh, am I? Self-discovering rambles. Yeah, that's sure right. And they're good rambles. Well, that's kind of you. Thank you for your kindness. I want to. I got this feeling that I should lean into the superhero stuff a bit. That I'm supposed to be more entertaining, but I prefer just being straight up, just sincere. I'm me. I'm not a superhero. I'm dressing like one. It's 2 things. So it's part gimmick. Look at me, but then look past me to the charity. But there also is this underlying statement to it, like we can all be better. We should all stand up and do something righteous. And there's like this idea of going to war against cancer, I guess, as well, as stupid as that might sound. So yeah, I got this sense that I'm supposed to make it more fun. And I missed a golden opportunity for a daily donor dare of doom today. So one of them was Sing in the Rain. Keep forgetting. But, hang on. In the old utility belt, one of them is chug a lager at the end of a walk. And that is I don't know, hang on, where I've got it there. Yeah, so I've got a can of lager tucked in the old utility belt. So I'll be able to knock at least one of them over today, and I will diligently work on them going forward. But yeah, I wanna in doing this walk, personally grow. leave aside some of the grief and pain and all the rest, so that I'm just pure of it. But yeah, I'm starting to feel like a sense of personal, and I don't know, I think you're giving it to me. I've always been a very self-effacing, can't take a compliment type of person, but I'm starting to feel this sense of personal pride in what I'm doing, in the physical effort of it as well. So I want to do a good job. You know what I mean? I want people to look at it and go, look, that old guy, a year ago, total train wreck, physically and mentally, and look at what he did. But it's funny because the walking is the least important of the things that I'm doing, I think, to me in my heart. I think letting go of a lot of the dark stuff, the grief and the pain from, the existential stuff from my cancer, that's the most profoundly valuable. But then that also unlocks some growth, so it leaves me room that had that stuff there that I can color in, you know, and I hope I can draw something there that's just lovely. I want to, when I'm done with this, if I can say, look, did something great for a cancer charity. Whatever happens to me in my life, a smile will always be within reach. And if I can take away the pieces of me that are just shitty and dark and broken and selfish, if I can rub some of them away while I'm doing this, I'm going through this pilgrimage, this process, then, I can replace them with something too. And I'm not saying, I'm going to be a mega human, I'm going to be some example that you should all aspire to. What I want to do is highlight the process of it. You know what I mean? So the idea that, for self-improvement, there's an industry for self-improvement. Just like there's an industry for weight loss, and yet that flatters an industry that tries to get you to eat foods that are very, very bad for you all the time. And there's all of these sort of commercial platforms around things that should be shared and free and spiritual almost. So self-improvement, it's one of those things that I want to take away from this. And in having achieved it in such a broken, messed up life, just give a little bit of a sketch that somebody who is broken like I was can then sort of try to follow. Oh, we've got some comments. Let me take a... sorry, while I walk, I want to get better and better at recognizing I'm an inspiration, amazing. Oh, again, this is growth. Ready? Thank you so much. I appreciate your kindness. Thank you. I'm not, I disagree with you. Thank you so much. Great lesson in life. If you... Oh, please donate, please. Okay. Are you telling me to donate? Because, I actually keep accidentally donating. So I've actually set it up that, so when I get cash donations, I was doing them one at a time, and it's slowing me down. It's a real pain in the bottom, to be honest, but I don't want to discourage anybody from donating to the charity. But one dude gave me 75 cents, so I get the cash donation, and I need to process it in the charity platform using just my credit card. But, if you've donated, you've seen it. There's this option to which you have to opt out of, to pay the transaction fee. So the charity doesn't have to pay for merchant fees to their bank. You bear that cost in addition to your pledge. And, so let's say I'm taking a cash donation of $20 and processing it. I just keep forgetting to do that. So yeah, well, I've got a better solution where I'm tracking them all in a list and I'll get them done once a week at home by my wife, and we'll rock it that way. And in the meantime, I'm spending the money on food because we translate it into a credit card donation. But it's I wish there was a better solution for that. I don't know how these charities, the ones that go around door knocking and stuff, I don't know how they manage it. It's an online world now. Jeez. Anyway, sorry, other comments. Let's see what we've got going on here. How's the surgery on the flag going? The surgery is complete, my friend. I did a wonderful job.
Yeah, I saw some comments about how, I'm not going to be hired as anybody's, clothing repairer anytime soon and all of that. No, look, I did a functional job, um, but yeah, it's repaired. And I've kept all of the needle and thread and all the rest. So if it starts to fray again, hey puppy, it's okay. Look, you want to say hi? Hey, what's your name? Aren't you gorgeous? Are you my new best friend? Oh, look at that. Hey, hey. Oh, you're so lovely. Some dogs are scared of me because I look like a hobo, but not you. You're a brave dog. You're a good dog, aren't you? You like that, don't you? Bit of an ear rub, eh? Cheers, mate. Take care of yourself. Sorry about that. Um, what was I saying? The flag surgery. Yeah, well, I did an awful job, but it hasn't frayed again yet. But it's all packed up now just because of the nasty weather. I don't want to turn into a lightning rod, Although, if that gave me soup, wouldn't that be a great thing for me, for you, for us, for our society? I got that up, lightning strikes, and I get superpowers. No, if I had superpowers, I would be a nightmare. Like, in all seriousness. So for all of your kind words saying, oh, you're inspirational and all of the rest, yeah, I would use my power to help people. I would help you. If you're in a burning building, bang, zip, saved. If your dog is lost, zoom, zoom, X-ray vision, saved. But I'd also there are cases for me where people can't come back. They've gone too far, they've done too much, they can't come back. And I'd be snapping some necks. And I'm sorry if that bothers you. But I'd be over, those Taliban guys. Sorry, did you cut that lady's head off? Yes, I did. Snap. You know what I mean? Like, on a case-by-case basis, I would use my power in a horrible, fascist kind of a way that is just, it's inexcusable and it's not okay. But I can't lie about it. So I'll keep the flag down. We'll stop. We won't get hit by lightning, and we will not develop superpowers, which is probably best for all concerned. Um, but yeah, also pedophiles. Yeah. Any crime where there's recidivism, a high level of recidivism, and there's a lot of data around that. Violent offenders and repeat offences. So just sort of, horribly violent crimes. Just snap. That must. I smile when I think about it too. That must make me a train wreck of an evil person, really. Where am I? Okay. Well, the day's completely brightening up. I would like to find a camp in the daytime, set up in the daytime, because I want to check if like my wife made me this lovely bracelet when we were, courting and falling in love and all of that stuff, and I may have lost it, but I may not, and there's a better chance of noticing one way or the other if I set up in daylight. But I'm in a more settled area at the moment, so I'll press forward. Are there any? We've got a comment here. Sorry, let me make this so you can actually see what's going on in the world. How can you not be inspirational? Look at what you're doing. Oh, thank you. I mean, I guess. Well, let's wait and see when I get to the end. If that's when I'll deserve your regard. If I've done a good job, and if I've been able to share, something worthwhile in doing it. We've got modus operandi, snap, yeah, and I'm sorry. I know, but the thing is, I say it because it is true. I genuinely, with total power, I would, in some regards, abuse that power. Not for personal gain, and that's why it's dangerous too. That would be a slippery slope because it wouldn't be to help, like because I'm greedy or whatever. I would think I'm right. And maybe that goes back. We were talking about people arguing and having these combative viewpoints and not being able to build consensus, right? Why? Because they are convinced they are right. A lot of self-doubt is a bad thing. it can cripple you. You'll get nowhere as a human being, right? But a little bit is essential. You know, recognize that you've made mistakes, you idiot. I have, you know. And so in that, leave a little room for someone to convince you, you know. Yeah, I guess. So that's why me with superpowers would be hugely dangerous, because I would do the wrong thing because I think it's right. And maybe a lot of our arguments might settle down a little bit. Uh, it's your honest Holocaust, honest. Sorry, I don't know what that word is meant to be, Dawn. Or maybe it's at least I'm honest, or it's my Holocaust. And maybe, yeah, geez, thank God Hitler didn't have superpowers. Oh, there's still, I know, look, can you see over there? I think the camera kind of softens clouds so they don't look anywhere near as severe as they actually are. So I think we might get some overnight weather again, but I'm pretty resilient to it at the moment. So day 5, I can see without any real problems muddling through for the next however long I need to. You know, I got to deal with this chafing problem, got to deal with my laundry problem. And honestly, if we were hanging out, if you said, I would love to meet Captain Australia, maybe walk for a bit or something, you would regret your decision as soon as we're actually within a meter of each other, because I pong to myself. So that probably means that to most other people I pong as well. But in my magic utility belt, I have a little... So every time I go anywhere, I just spray myself with a bit of the anti-pong. So we have a comment. Every step forward, always a step closer. Yeah, oh, thank you. I've actually, I've had some weird music in my head today, and I thought it was, you know, it's like a Motown song, you know, because I was thinking about my children, and this is just how flaky I am, you know, like but it's, you know, like ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from you, and it's like this lovely song. I don't know if it's the Supremes or who it is, but it's in my head, and I've got the tune, but that wasn't it. And I'm trying to think about it, and I landed there, but it's actually it's Aretha Franklin and the song that was stuck in my head, George Michael, and it's the same sort of thing. But it's like when the river was deep, I didn't falter. When the mountain was high, I still believed. When the valley was low, it didn't stop me because I knew you were. Oh shit! Because I knew you were waiting for me, and it's made me think of my made me think about my beautiful family. Sorry. You see, I think I'm becoming less stoic. More, cancer maybe did that. I don't know, or if I've just let go of a lot of the dark stuff, so there's joy flooding in. But sorry, a grown man doesn't need to cry on the side of the road like that. But don't, if you want to, don't worry about it. But yeah, you know, I feel as though cancer might have taken away what little filter I had. Crossing safely, crossing the road.